Hello! Oh man, something's going crazy tonight with the stream. Hello everyone! Hello, hello, hello! I don't know why. For some reason the stream was like not firing up immediately, so everything's running a minute behind. Alright, we are live, I think. Hopefully you're there. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. How goes it this evening? I don't know what was going on there. Every once in a while okay. Life is good. The stream is actually on. Every once in a while, the stream just doesn't turn on when I hit stream, like nothing happens, and I have to like re-enter the stream key, and then it usually starts working. So it was doing that. So if you can't see anything, try refreshing, because something was a little wacky with everything tonight. But I think we're good now. I think we made it. The chat is up. The stream is live. What's up, everyone? Unseen Spectre, Hunsar, Ashimi, Shady Shrek, of course, Awesome Dude. It's a Jackal, Captain Elgetto, Jay Zoller. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. How'd I like the green-white deck earlier? I had no idea what I was doing. Oh, did you play me in Modern? It was... it worked. I mean, it worked. It didn't strike me as super powerful, but the creatures were big enough that Lightning Bolt, like Wiltleaf Cavalier, was actually really good, and I just couldn't beat it. So how's it going, everyone? Good to see ya. Thank you for the host, Lord Draven, ETB Tilted. I gotta check my Twitter. A message just popped up on Magic Online saying you can't join leagues. So I'm trying to... We are... Due to a legality issue, we are briefly pausing new entries and new league matches due to a legality issue. During yesterday's appointment... Oh, Magic Online. Oh, oh, so during yesterday's downtime, apparently Magic Online made Peregrine Drake legal again accidentally. So people were joining pauper leagues playing Peregrine Drake. Only Wizards. Oh my goodness. So now we can't play a league because Wizards... Because Wizards accidentally made Peregrine Drake... Oh, Lord. Well, I guess that means we gotta play two-player queues, because we can't play leagues. Apparently, hopefully two-player... We should check that. Hopefully two-player queues are up. Oh, dear. I don't see anyone in these queues. Oh, Moto. Right when we started streaming, literally it popped up exactly when we were going to start streaming. Well, we'll figure it out. If we can't join leagues, we'll play some two-player queues and then play some Momir and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know about gate crash drafts. Hey, Arsenal Munch, thank you so much for the host. Yeah, Wizards, I don't know what's going on with Moto. So we got a sweet deck for tonight. First... Yeah, I'm the only person. It didn't kick me off. Actually, we should just make a Drake deck for Pauper real quick and try to win some play points before they make it illegal again. The two-player queues are down too? Oh, no! I'd? Welcome to the Fishbowl. And thank you for your subscription. Let's give a big scoops cheer for our new subscriber, getting subscribers even while Moto is down. Oh, Magic Online. Why? It's just the timing is horrible. Because we were just about to start streaming. And now, well, we'll figure it out. We will play something, even if we're just like playing Momir or I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we'll play something one way or another. First off, MTG Goldfish Replay YouTube channel. Gotta remind you about that, where you can find all the sweet old streams, including this one in the future. And if you head over to the merch page, you probably saw the little token thing while the countdown was going for like a second because things started late tonight. But yeah, we have playmats now, we have sleeves, the new edition, and deck boxes. So check those out if you are looking for a way to support the site. Lee Salt back for the second month in a row says Drake is so powerful that not even Moto could keep it banned. Oh, yes. Well, thank you, Lee Salt. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Definitely appreciate the support. So the deck we're going to hopefully play tonight, Janto, oh goodness, Janto and X Ope. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for the subscription. Let's give a big scoots cheer for Wanto and Zope. I'm saying that so wrong. Our new subscriber. So this deck looks pretty sweet. Hopefully we can actually play it. This was wonton on soup. Oh, okay. I think that kind of works. Wonton on soup. Gotcha. So this deck looks pretty sweet. This was from one of our instant deck techs. Oh, geez. I didn't realize it was that much for Europe decks. Decks. Yeah, that is kind of a lot. I think tokens are cheap because they're, if you get some of those to ship, because they're not too heavy. So, want you up to? So this deck, it looks pretty spicy. I don't know if this deck is good. It was on our instant deck techs like a week ago. This is like 4-color, I mean basically Naya, but kind of 4-color colorless artifacts. We're even playing Built to Last as a pump spell that makes our artifacts indestructible. So pretty much, we're like kind of aggressive, but then the big payoffs, we have Chief of the Foundry as an artifact lord and Foundry Inspector to make our artifacts cheaper. So we're kind of hoping to like play Foundry Inspector on turn 3, and then Verder's Gearhulk on turn 4 to make our stuff huge and beat our opponent down. We also have a random combustible Gearhulk for no apparent reason. I'm not sure why we have one combustible, but it's pretty sweet. I don't think we have Inventor's Fairs to search it up. Yeah, no Inventor's Fair. I guess when you're playing 4 colors, it's hard to make Inventor's Fair work. And then in the sideboard, we have a ton of white cards. Fragmentize, Declaration in Stone, Selfless Spirits for protection, 3 Cataclysmic Gearhulks. It's like Naya Gearhulks, I guess. Harness Lightning, some Anguish Unmaking. Unfortunately, nothing that kills an Emrakul. So, I don't know. But it looks pretty spicy, so hopefully we can find a way to actually play this deck. The 2-player queues are even down. What happens if I try to join this? Oh, is this going to work? Okay. So plan B. Randomly 15ing people. Well, how about this? If any of you are on Magic Online at the moment and you have a standard deck, why don't you send me a challenge and we can play some matches that way. So maybe we'll accidentally kind of backdoor our way into a few viewer battles. I don't know about Gatecrash Limited. I think we'll definitely play Limited for Holiday Cube, because Holiday Cube is awesome, but Gatecrash Draft is not one of my favorite formats, and I don't even know if you can get in the leagues. And I guess it wouldn't be leagues for Gatecrash anyway. If I'm going to play Limited, I really want to play leagues for streaming. It's just so much better for streaming. So if we're going to play Limited, it would probably have to be Kaladesh something. Well, if you're on Magic Online and you have a standard deck, if you send me a challenge, I will accept so we can test out this artifact deck. while Magic Online isn't working. And then we will piece this together. We're not going to just cancel the stream because Moto's horrible. Imagine how many streams we'd have to cancel if we had to cancel every time Moto did something silly. Awesome, dude. Yeah, I saw you pop in, and then the stream went down, but then you're back. But we should have, I mean, we have a regular stream time, so we should have enough time to play, like, at least a few matches with this artifact deck. Alright, there's our first challenge. Lee Salt, a challenger has arrived. And then we can close out with, whoa! Alright, then we can close out with Momir. Anyway, so that works. Alright, where's our chat? So, I don't know, and it's possible that this is a short-term thing and the leagues pop up soon and we still get to do it. You never know. Yes, they somehow accidentally unbanned Drake in Pauper. I don't even know if that's possible. Right in the middle of our stream. Wizards. Like, come on now, Wizards. Just want to play a league with Naya Artifacts. This will be fine, though. This will be fun. There was a lot of people that wanted to do viewer battles and we didn't get a chance to. And we didn't get to play Momir on Tuesday because it was like the longest stream of all time. So this will give us a chance, hopefully, to play some Momir. So let's look at this hand. Lee Salt is going to hear what I'm saying, but that's okay. This hand seems reasonable. I wish we didn't have multiple built to last. But Foundry Inspector into Fleet Wheel. Okay, we'll try it. What's up, Carol Ketzer? This is our first match, and it's not in a league because leagues are down at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. And not only did they take down the leagues, they took down all the two-player queues, too. So we can't even play just, like, two-player queues. So I don't know. I don't understand how Moto works. Apparently not the way I want it to work. You never know. It's just unfortunate. This could have happened at, I don't know how, like, they came up from downtime yesterday after an extended downtime for some reason. So it's been like an entire day before they realized there was a problem. So I just wish they had caught this before it happened right during our stream. Yes, Scarecrow Pete, I do remember that. I think some people abuse bugs on Moto, and I've never felt comfortable about that. Like, intentionally putting me in your deck almost, so you can file compensation when something goes wrong. No free tokens tonight, just playing for fun. Hey, thank you, Mew Hunter. Did I miss your resub? I appreciate the resub. Thank you, thank you. Yes, downtime begets downtime. When I first saw this card, I thought it said Bonded Courier, because that's like a real thing, but it's Bombat Courier. Courier versus Courier, but we have a Copter. And I never get to play with Smuggler's Copter, but I know it's insane, because I've had it played against me a million times. We just never play Smuggler's Copter decks. I wish we could get Wizards of the Coast games with Blizzard management. That could be good. I'm thinking, so how does this sound for a potential series? We do Magic stuff. That's what we do. But would you be interested in watching a video series that was like testing out the other digital card games like Hearthstone, Eternal, Hex? And I don't think it wouldn't be like regular every week we're playing Hex or something, but like, oh, this is what Hearthstone is like in Playa Arena. This is how Hex works. It would be interesting because I've never played any of those games, so I don't know if that would be good or bad. Probably bad because I've played Hearthstone. That's the only one I've played even a little bit. But it seems like the general feeling is probably not. All right. Well, it's good to have feedback on that. Okay, question number 2. I might have already floated this idea. What do you think about a format switching series? Like, if we took red-white vehicles and made, I don't know, X amount of upgrades and tried to play it in Modern? Would that be cool? Oh, well, that was easy. Well, we get to play a league after all. All that freaking out for nothing. So we'll finish this match, but then we're gonna get to play a league because Wizards just turned them back on. So we get to play a league after all. Okay, so format switch here. That sounds, people like that idea. Okay. So we'll finish, well, we'll at least finish this game. Probably finish this match. I feel bad leaving in the middle. Oh man, I can go 0-4 in Vintage with just about anything. If I have one magic skill, it's being able to go 0-4 in any format. Legacy Panharmonicon, that would be a big jump. I think it could be some cool stuff though. Wow, that's an aggressive Momir Courier. Our opponent, they must just really need lands. Overloaded on stuff they can't cast. Okay. Well, we are going to... Ooh. Well, maybe this is better. Let's just play Chief of the Foundry. Leave up Built to Last to protect our stuff since they're artifacts. Prototypical Red, I think that we might end up playing at some point. I don't think we're going to play it tonight. Thank you, Spectrum, but we're actually already in a match. I appreciate the challenge, though. We did have a no ban list modern event where Red Black Aggro did reasonably well. Ooh, I didn't know that. Yeah, Jay Zoller, there would have to be upgrades. I was trying to decide on the exact parameters, but I'm leaning towards like a certain number of upgrades, but it can't be to essential cards. Like, we couldn't, if we're going to take red-white vehicles and put it in modern, we couldn't get rid of Smuggler's Copter, like the cards that make it red-white vehicles, essentially. So, but we could make changes to make it playable, so like Declaration in Stone or Stasis Snare would become Path to Exile, maybe, or Lightning Bolt. So things like that, and the mana base could be upgraded to be modern playable. So yeah, make upgrades, but still keep the key cards intact. Now let's just play another Chief of the Foundry. This plan is working pretty good. What would I speculate about the Atlazan leak? I assume that it's real. That part seems real to me. I don't know much about it. From what I've seen people talking on Twitter and stuff, it's most likely an like South American or Aztec theme set. When I saw it, I figured like Atlantis is what it was. But from what I've heard from everyone, it's actually more likely to be like Aztec flavored. Maybe with some sort of Atlantis thing thrown in, which I guess are kind of related. I don't really know that whole mythology very well. But it seems interesting. I do wish we would go to more Magic worlds that aren't real worlds, so to speak. Gabarino. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Hey, Seth, I love the content. What happened to the rest of it? I love the content on the site. You're someone I looked up to. Well, thank you very much. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Big scoop cheer for Gabarino. Wow. This hand is super powerful if we can cast our stuff. Yes. Probably the road to El Dorado, except it looked like merfolk on the packaging. I assume that it's real, and it was a leak, although there's a chance that this is not even a real thing, and Wizards is just showing off the packaging. The thing that makes me think it's real is the art is new, and it's unknown, so it would be really hard for someone to fake that. So unless Wizards like did it intentionally, just made a fake set for this whatever survey they were sending out, I don't think a player faked it because the art seems legitimate. Yes, Cottonwood. So against the odds, the last couple have been really janky. That's another good question I have. So, like today's deck on against the odds, it would have been. I guess the question is, what do you want to see for against the odds? Would you rather see something that's janky but has a really hard time winning, or say Niv Mizzet, the same thing won Niv Mizzet combo? Do you want to see something that's super janky like we had today, or would you rather see, if I was going to try to play Niv Mizzet combo at a GP, regardless of what that means, if it means Blood Moons or Goryo's Vengeance or more competitive things like that, that is going to have a better chance of winning? So I don't know. So something more competitive. Yeah, I got some feedback from that from people that it's the last couple episodes have been like borderline too janky, where it almost wasn't even fun to watch, and I don't want that to be the case. I mean, against odds is going to be janky, but finding that balance is, yeah, so maybe more competitive jank is the way to go. So I don't know, I might try some different things to see how it goes. I mean, Niv Mizzet combo isn't going to be a GP winning deck. That's not going to happen, no matter what I try to do. But the deck could be more competitive if that was the goal. So Darkstar 13720. That was a weird way to read that number. Welcome to the Fishbowl, and thank you for your subscription. Big scoops here for our new subscriber. I'd rather see more decks like the Rhino deck, 100% original, absolutely no idea what the outcome will be. That is a classic, so more like that would be good. Alright, competitive jank. It seems like that's a majority of the feedback is janky, but more competitive. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's kind of 4-color artifacts, actually. Do people just want more decks built by you that they can play? That might be. I think it's more entertainment value. I had a couple of people comment and say, yeah, we've mega flooded. Had a couple of people comment and say, when the decks are like really, really janky and bad, and it's that it's less fun to watch than when they're like competitive janky. And I mean, with the things that win, they're still going to be janky. There's no getting around that, you know? So you don't have to worry about that. It's not like most against the odds decks are going to be format breaking or even good, because they're naturally restricted by like Niv Mizzet combo and stuff like that. Like, it's just hard to make those things really competitive. So Permeating Mass was one of my favorite decks. That was janky. It was also still competitive. And I mean, it'll depend on what the theme is and what the winner of the poll is, so. Geez, I think we're just dead here. We've just flooded out. Feels so depressing to watch when you just lose 8 rounds without the game being close. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll see. I'll probably try to mix it up a little bit as we go along and test out some like slightly more competitive janky decks. They're still going to be fun and janky and wacky, but maybe not quite as janky as some of them. Yeah, it's not that interesting when you build a deck around some cool sounding combo, but then you almost never manage to pull it off in videos. Yeah, and I mean, it's hard because sometimes it's like, that's kind of the idea of against odds, is to win with these crazy combos, but are they going to like 4 Galvanic Bombardment or Gearhulk? Is that what's happening? No. But what is happening here? Why did they Galvanic Bombard our Gearhulk for 2 damage? I'm so confused. I do have fun even if it's really janky, so. Heater Alignment was sweet, and that was like, we won more with that deck than I imagined we would have. It wasn't good, but we kind of did. Alright, sacks the courier, discards, whoa, 3 mountains. Inverter of truth. Alright, that's a good example. Hey, awesome, good pants. Hopefully it will be some good eating entertainment. Lavax doesn't even get it, does it? Hoping to draw into more damage, I see. Well, I guess if you're new, you're discarding everything to bomb at courier, you might as well. Aye, key to the city. Is there a chance we can just win here? Like, not this turn, but can we win before our opponent kills us? It might be possible. Cocoa Walls is most likely going to be for Much Brew, since it was actually pretty popular. Am I going to do a Frontier instant deck tech? So, I guess that's another good question. What's your thoughts on Frontier? Do you want some amount of Frontier content? That's like the survey stream, apparently. So many questions. Eater of Days was a sweet one, too. Frontier is so good. Frontier is awesome. Oh, God, no. I mean, we're not going to have regular Frontier content like Budget Magic and stuff like that because it's not even a format that's available on Magic Online. So, if anything, it would probably be like, well, I know I'm doing like an intro to Frontier video, but it's not gameplay. It's like, I think it actually is coming out tonight. It's more like, what is Frontier? What's ideas about it? What kind of decks and cards are seeing play in it? So that's actually already coming out. So I know that. If there was going to be gameplay content, it would most likely be like Richard and I testing out a couple decks type of thing. It wouldn't be like regular Budget Magic style stuff or anything. Have I heard of Future? It's like Frontier with a bigger card pool, all cards from 2013 forward. I want Mythic from like Shards of Alara forward. All the sets that have... actually, no, there's a different Brewer's Minute. This is just a bonus video. Brewer's Minute this week is sweet. We're talking about Yanni's expertise. I know I'm saying that wrong, but you know what I mean. The black wrath that you can cast things for free. Should I sell my Verdant Catacombs? I don't think there's really much of a concern at this point. I would be shocked if they showed up in Modern Masters. That's true, the Great Revel. That's the biggest reason I am not stoked about Frontier. Actually, that's not the biggest reason, but personally, I'm not super excited about Frontier yet. I know a lot of people are, and if you like Frontier, you should play it, and that's awesome. What's confirmed fake? These images are from a real survey of ours, but the survey is made to test packaging design concept. Ah, okay. So apparently, those sets were not real. So they weren't fake, but it was that Wizards made them to test products. Frontier is a good place to play old KTK decks. That is kind of my impression of the format. It is the place for that. So for me, Frontier doesn't really interest me that much. Just the decks that seem popular, the size of the format. And I don't know why people don't understand that you're going to run into the same issues as Modern, as my take on Frontier. Like, you're going to run into, if the format's popular, and pros start playing it and so forth, you're going to run into some decks that are way better than the other decks. Well, we have our nut draw if this lives with our Gearhulk next turn. You're going to run into some decks that are just way better. You're going to have 2 or 3 really good decks that people hate and want to see banned. And if a lot of people start playing it, card prices are going to go up, and Siege Rhino is going to be $10. And then the real reason to play the format of accessibility and affordability goes away. So I think that's my long-term concerns about Frontier. Having a rotating format was actually one of the things I was really liking the idea of. Almost a return to extended, I think, is what players want. Isochron Scepter Dramatic Reversal for Against the Odds. I should. I've had people asking me about that. It seems like it could be a good Against the Odds combo. Penny Dreadful is interesting. I still get stuck on the fact that I just don't have a good way of filtering to build decks in the format. So that's my sticking point with playing too much Penny Dreadful. I guess I could just like take someone else's deck and play it to test out the format. That would work. I think we just make a big Smuggler's Copter here. So Crew Smuggler's Copter. Cast our Verdurous Gearhulk. And we're just going to make a 7/7 Smuggler's Copter. Seems pretty good. Get in with the Copter. Penny Dreadful is a Magic Online format that is only cards that cost 1 penny. And it updates every set release, so whatever is a penny when Kaladesh released is in the format until the next set release. And then when Aether Revolt releases, you look at the prices again. Everything that's a penny when Aether Revolt is released is legal, and then everything that's not a penny goes out of the format. So it's kind of an interesting idea. It's super budget if you're looking for a very budget format. Even compared to Pauper, which is cheap, this is like as cheap as it gets. I mean, if stuff is only a penny, what's it going to be? Less than $1 for a deck, even if prices fluctuate a little bit? Opponent pumping up their Copter. Sure. So we get hit for 4. I feel like we're about 2 turns away from winning. Ooh, another Copter. Well, 1, 2. Play Chief of the Foundry. Pump up our artifacts. Use Chief of the Foundry to fire up our Smuggler's Copter. And attack with everything. Jeez, 8/8 Smuggler's Copter is so sweet. We will loot. Discard Concealed Courtyard. Is this just game? It might just be game. Because Verdurous is 5/5 and Trampley. Opponent needs removal. And Foundry Inspector isn't a great removal target. Ooh, they're going to get rid of it. Okay. Yeah, we're going to join a league after this match ends. We had to finish off this one since we were in the middle of it. Didn't want to leave halfway through. Personally, I want to see what would happen if none of the existing tier decks existed in Modern. That would be interesting, but I don't know how to make that happen exactly. Just like ban all the tier decks? Alright, let's just play Chief of the Foundry. And we should just be winning next turn. I would be surprised if with 1 card in our hand, our opponent can beat us. This deck seems sweet so far. I mean, Chief of the Foundry is a pretty good Lord. Foundry Inspector for quick Gearhulk. I'm actually excited to take this through a league. It actually seems pretty good. Ban cards that are over a certain dollar amount. I don't like that idea, because as weird as it sounds, dollar amounts don't necessarily correlate with playability in all cases. Ban everything besides cards with a name in their name. Yeah, I like this deck so far. And our opponent added Goblin Dark Dwellers, but can't cast it. Gives us the GGs. Alright, so that was our test run. Leagues are back online, so let's jump into a league with this deck and see if it's actually good enough to win us some treasure chests. Yeah, let's do friendly. I don't know if it really makes much of a difference, but might as well. A little cheaper to enter, not that it really matters. So, alright. League time with Naya Artifacts. Oh, awesome, Pextel. Absent Evolution was fun. I like doing the deck techs. It's nice to have to have those coming out every day. If I would or am going to a standard showdown this weekend, what would I bring? Well, what's my goal? Is my goal to win, or is my goal just to like have fun and play something interesting? The treasure chests are actually not bad value right now. I mean, we open them like idiots, which makes them worse value. But if you just sell them, as far as how they are right now, they actually represent a price increase over, or a prize increase over the old ones. All right, if the goal is to win, I probably play Aetherworks Marvel or Blue White Flash. Or Delirium, one of the big 3 decks. If I was going to pick one of those, I probably pick one of the updated versions of Aetherworks Marvel. I think might be the best deck right this second. But I also really like Blue-Green Flash. So if that's my goal, is just to win, it would probably be one of those. Do I think vendors are stocking up on treasure chests to crack if the EV goes up? Maybe. That's risky, though, because it could go down just as easily. Thoughts on the Planeswalker deck Tezzeret? We actually talked about it on the podcast, and I like it. Panharmonicon, I think, is a reasonable deck, and I think you could have success with it, but I think it's a tier below the best decks in the format. But if you want to have fun and have a chance to win, that would probably be a really good choice. No, Planeswalker deck Tezzeret actually seems pretty solid, to the point, I don't think it's like good in Standard, but I think it's close enough that I could imagine a deck that wanted to play it in Standard. So that's pretty sweet. Alright, let's Muggle. Pass turn. Favorite Planeswalker cards out of all the existing Planeswalkers is Venser, Shaper Savant, but I also really enjoy Tezzeret. That's on my list of most loved Planeswalkers. So let's 1, 2, 3. I think we just Foundry Inspector here, and then fire up our Copter. Are we likely to get blown out? Should I not be attacking here? I'm sorry, Venser the Sojourner, rather. Wrong one. Other Venser. Planeswalker Venser. I really like Tezzeret Agent of Bolas, too. That's in my top 3. I don't know what the other Planeswalker in my top 3 is. I'd have to think about it. We get to loot with the Copter. We will discard... I guess we can discard this Plains. Next turn... actually, let's discard Evolving Wilds. Yeah. Get in for 3. Does our opponent have removal? They do not. Alright, pass turn. Karn is really good. I do like Karn. Karn I like more than Ugin, so there's that. I like Karn mostly because I love playing Karn in like cube drafts. Oh, I do like Koth. Surprisingly, for an aggressive mono red Planeswalker, which doesn't seem like the kind of card I would like, I do really like Koth. Alright, what is our opponent doing? Are they like blue-white control and we just don't realize it? I think we're just going to Scrounger here. Fire up our Copter. And then we can crack our Clue. And maybe discard. Chandra is okay. I don't think it's in my top 3 or top 5, but Chandra's good. Man, it feels nice to be the person that's beating down with Smuggler's Copter instead of the person that's being beaten down by Smuggler's Copter. That never happens to me. How about a format where the amount of each card you're allowed is set? 20 lands, 4 artifacts, 4 enchantments. That's an interesting idea. I wonder if it would end up being restrictive. Mostly because I want to crack a Clue. What do we do here? Opponent could have Avacyn. Avacyn is a huge blowout no matter what we do. Should we, like, not attack? Is that the right thing to do here? Let's play Ether Hub. Play Cultivator's Caravan. Play Filgry Familiar. I mean, we can attack. Let's just attack with Scrounger. We don't really have to fire up Smuggler's Copter here. If Scrounger gets got by Avacyn, that's okay. I'd rather lose that than lose Copter. I mean, this is still a problem. We don't really have removal, and Smuggler's Copter does not get through Avacyn. But we can start firing up, like, Cultivator's Caravan is pretty big. We can do the, like, Crew Copter to Crew Caravan. And Fleet Wheel Cruiser gets through Avacyn. Is this Gideon? Do I think vehicles will be evergreen now? I don't believe so. My guess would be they're kind of a one-time thing, but I think we could see them come back in the future. But I don't expect that we'll see vehicles in every set. I don't think they'll be like equipment or something that we literally always have. So opponent gets in, makes a 2-2. We draw a land, unfortunately. Well, let's play the Courier. Play a Plains. Play Fleet Wheel Cruiser. Comes in with haste and trample. And then we can, do we crew this up and just go shields down? I guess. Then it means we can't use Smuggler's Copter on defense to block the Copter. Yeah, whatever. We're not doing anything else, so we might as well crew up Cultivator's Caravan. I guess if we're playing this deck, we gotta be aggressive. Attack with both. Yeah, it seems like a shields down deck. And I don't think we're gonna attack Gideon. Let's just go to our opponent. It seems like this deck really wants a Verdurous Gearhulk. That seems like a really key piece to the puzzle with this deck. So, Copter goes on our Fleet Wheel Cruiser. Well, that's fine. I don't mind getting rid of that. And then we get in for 5 with the Caravan. Yep, alright. Might be going to Standard Showdown. I don't know what deck I should run. Have Mardu Good Stuff Control or Abzan Human Aggro. Personally, I'd probably play Mardu, but I don't know if that's necessarily the right choice or just my personal preference. So here comes some Avacyn flips. We lose our creatures. Opponent loses their knight. We draw a card from Filgry Familiar. Another bomb at Courier. Here comes Gideon. That is a lot of damage. We take 11. We basically gotta hope our opponent's empty-handed. Does not seem hopeful. Opponent passes. Oh, more lands. Oh, Endermage Josh, you have them in the website? Well, you can send me a link or something. So we can Courier, fire up Smuggler's Copter, get back Scrounger, fire up Cultivator's Caravan, and just hope our opponent's on nothing. I mean, I guess that's all we can really do. If our opponent has anything, we die. I mean, I guess we also get to loot, which is not bad. So get back Scrounger. Exiling a Courier. Play Courier. I mean, I think this is all we can really do. So, crew up Copter. And we don't really have removal to draw into. Crew up Cultivator's Caravan. Hope our opponent's on blanks. We do have a little bit of black mana. Go attacking. We get to loot. Come on, big draw. Oh! Oh, built to last could. This could matter. Oh. Opponent has another Avacyn? Never mind. Maybe they block Copter. Alright. Wasn't meant to be. Oh, you're welcome, Mewy Bite. Ay. Huh. Yeah, having two Avacyns is kind of against the flavor of the game. Mana, Schism, Enduring Ideal, Ghostly Wings, Barren Glory. That is quite the combo. Amoeba Bite. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription, and thank you for the good luck. Big scoops cheer for our resubscriber 2 months in a row. If only it was built to smash. Would that have mattered? Actually, I don't think it would have. So what do we sideboard against this deck? One thing I don't like about this deck is we have, like, no interaction. Telekama, welcome to the Fishbowl, and thank you for your subscription. Big scoops here for our new subscriber, and Good Pants, coming through with the 2-month resub. Back to the Fishbowl for Good Pants. Thank you so much for the resubscription. Big scoops here for both of you. Technically, this is our first league game because Magic Online was having some issues. Yeah, I guess Anguish and Making gets Avacyn. What artifact payoff cards were you thinking of? I mean, we have, like, Artifact Lords and Foundry Inspectors to make it cheaper. Was built to smash exactly lethal? Built to last, though, makes our stuff indestructible. Alright, so we bring this in. Go down. Yeah, I don't see the point of Combustible either, in all honesty. I'm not really sure why that's in the deck. And maybe go down the Cultivator Caravan, one of them. Yeah, there were 2 declarations in stone in the sideboard, and I only had 1 declaration in stone in my collection for some reason, so I put a Hardness Lightning in over the second one. Alright, we're on the play. Oh, wow! Look at this Lord hand. Well, if we just draw a land and can play all these Lords, our board's going to be massive. And we have the Foundry Inspector. So we need just like 1 land, and this is going to be sweet. So Concealed Courtyard, pass the turn. Yeah, for some reason I thought we were going to be 1 point short, but maybe I'm not thinking of it correctly. With or without a plan, 2 months in a row. Big scoops here for our resubscriber. Welcome back to the Fishbowl, with or without plan. Thank you so much for the support. You all are super, super awesome. Port Town for our opponent. That is true. I don't know if this deck commonly plays deck in stone, though. And joke's on us, because we're probably just not going to draw lands and not ever cast anything. That's going to be a sad way to go with 3 Chiefs of the Foundry in hand. Well, at least they did it on that and not on our 3 Chiefs of the Foundry. So, alright, I'm fine with that. And this clue gets us to a land, most likely, if we don't draw one. Which we don't. Alright, let's copter. Pass the turn. Hope we draw a land next turn. If we don't, at least maybe we can start coptering. Our opponent, curving out. They have their own smuggler's copter. And what, oh my goodness. Well, our opponent's hand was very good. Double removal. Lands to cast their oh, Magic Online. Why do you mock me? Oh my. Oh. Oh. Valving Wilds. That's like the most fitting way for us to lose. We lose because of Evolving Wilds. Well, so far so bad. After thinking this deck actually looked pretty sweet, we are cruising towards a 0-1 start. I'm skeptical of Pia's Revolution, personally. To me, it looks like Aetherios, and my experience with Aetherios is when you want it to get something back, your opponent usually pays a life. I mean, you can sometimes get in a position where it actually works, but I don't think all that often it does. So let's see. Time to get Spell Quellered, I assume. Yup. How many Evolving Wilds are in this deck? Is it a one of? That's going to make me even sadder if it's a one of. I think it might be. I mean, we're just dead here pretty much. Evolving Wilds is a 2 of. So I guess I'm still kind of sad. Well, we've played exactly 1 game with it, and we kind of got mana screwed this game. So I don't really know how to judge if it's clunky or not yet. We'll know more by the end of our league. This is a deck that was played at a Japanese tournament. So that's how we came across it. In all honesty, our opponent's hand is also absurd. Like, our opponent, our opponent's hand is so good they're discarding Selfless Spirits. Their hand is just absolutely overloaded. And we're just going to scoop it up. I think that is true. Having no removal at all is a bit scary. But I don't know. We're testing out the instant deck, so we'll see. That could very well be the lesson that we take away is it needs removal. Abzan and Mardu. Let's see. I would well, those are some spicy lists. Personally, I would probably play Mardu. But they both look like they're playable, but the Mardu deck looks like it has a lot of fun cards in it. So that's probably what I would do. Alright, on to round 2. Let's see if that was a bad draw or if it could really work. So, 11 Diego, what changes would you... if you were going to update the deck, what would you do? Well, we got lands this game. We got a Gearhulk. That's our best card. Yeah, I really don't understand Combustible Gearhulk in this deck. I have no idea why that is. Oh, there were 2 lists that someone posted in the chat, and they wanted to know which one I would play at Standard Showdown this weekend, and I would play the Mardu one. Opponent has Crypt Breaker. Well, let's Ether Hub. Pass the turn. Yeah, it is a little weird to have 0 removal, period, at all. How competitive would I say the blue-black key control deck is in Budget Magic? I thought it felt pretty competitive. Oh, those Evolving Wilds. I thought it felt pretty good. I think it has matchups against a lot of things. It might need to be tuned a little bit to fight the... You know, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty competitive and compete with a lot of stuff. Opponent has the Haunted Dead to discard. Well, we gain a couple life. Pass turn. Yeah, the refilling the hand idea, I guess, makes sense. The problem is, it's so easy for the opponent to just, like, take the damage most of the time. Jeez. Well, this hand is not great, but we have double Verdurous Gearhulk now, which might be enough for us to win this game. I don't think we can attack yet. I think we just pass and start pumping things up with Verdurous Gearhulk next turn, and hope that we draw into more Verdurous Gearhulks. Opponent draws a card, loses a life. Unlicensed seems like a good removal option. Yeah, the Poisonless Infect deck is still pretty competitive. Sinister Concoction for our opponent. I guess that's sort of annoying. Opponent, this is just straight up blue-black zombies? Alright, makes another zombie. Well, Murderous Sinister Concoction makes our Gearhulk a little worse. We're probably going to have to, like, spread the counters around a bit. We'll get a Forest. There's our second Evolving Wilds. Thank you, deck. Play the Forest, and slam Verdurous Gearhulk number 1. And let's just go 2-2. I helped a kid at my FLGS build a hybrid between Combustible Ramp and Blue-Red Colossus. It looked really sweet and was awesome. That sounds really sweet. I like that idea. Well, let's go on beatdown, see what happens. The problem is our opponent can start getting this stuff back at some point. Opponent's going to block and block. Well, let's just kill the zombie. The prized amalgam would come back for free anyway. Opponent draws a card, loses a life. Well, I mean, I guess we just got to be the beatdown. I think that's all we can really do is try to just kill our opponent somehow. Quick question. My friend makes cool budget decks and is a good Magic player, uses Magic Online. How would I convince him it would be a good idea to stream? Just tell him to do it, I guess. It's really easy to set up. It doesn't take much to get started. And especially if you're already playing on Magic Online, so I think that would be a big selling point. Well, that's Verdurous Gearhulk. Unfortunately, we're kind of flooding out. Let's go 1-1. Yeah. We know our opponent's going to Sinister Concoction, but... Yeah, maybe sending the Chief is loose. I mean, the thing is, I know we can't win the long game. Our opponent gets to draw cards all the time. We don't get to draw cards. They have a removal spell sitting on the battlefield. Oh, well, that's the game. Yup. Sure. Alright, we're gonna scoop it up. We actually can't beat that. We don't have a single removal spell in our deck. So maybe this deck is just really bad. That's seeming like another possibility. That this deck is just, the deck is sweet. Is it possible to win with? Voldaren Pry is very, very good. Yes, I'm not a big fan of decks that have no interaction. Ooh, I like the mono black deck. That looks pretty sweet. Ganti, Demon. Yeah, it looks like a pretty reasonable mono black deck. And super budget. Yeah, I think that like slow aggro is kind of a hard sell in this standard. This is a deck that was one of our instant deck decks. It did something in a Japanese tournament. I don't remember what the actual finish was. Top 8 at a Japanese tournament. There are a critical mass of land destruction spells. In playing land destruction sounds sweet. The thing is, I'm just not convinced that it lines up with the format. Since a lot of decks don't really need that many lands to really function. So that's the challenge with the deck. Although having like World Breaker really helps. The other thing would be a way to keep generating card advantage. I know we played Land Destruction like a year ago. Having Outpost Siege to keep generating card advantage was one of the key parts to that deck. Alright, so we're playing against zombies. Maybe this is a Cataclysm Gearhulk game? Perhaps? And like Declaration in Stone and Anguish Unmakings? And probably go down Bombat Couriers because they're just going to get blocked like crazy. Actually, no. Probably go down Built to Last because Built to Last should probably just be a removal spell. It's probably just crazy to have, yeah, to be playing a bad pump spell over a removal spell. That strikes me as something that just like has to be wrong pretty much. Well, we're going to try it. This might be the combustible, or cataclysmic game. Alright. Well, we have removal. I don't know if we can cast it, ever. We need an Evolving Wilds. Yeah, the pump spells should probably, almost certainly, be removal rather than pump spells. Like, it's cool that they can save a creature, like make it indestructible, but still, not being able to kill something is, oh, that's pretty sketchy. We don't really have that much cheap stuff, though, honestly. Now we're kind of flooding out. Have I ever thought of doing something similar to Freewin Red using Liquid Metal Colding, Mirror Landshaper, and Splinter to destroy permanents? I have. I think that could be an against the odds deck. I don't think it could be super competitive because, oh, well, Fleet Wheel Cruiser is actually pretty reasonable here. Hopefully we draw creatures to crew it. Because you got to draw a limited number of cards to make it work is the challenging part. You pretty much have to draw the Liquid Metal Coating. There's not a lot of redundancy on that effect. But I think it could work well as an against the odds deck. Opponent gets back a Haunted deck. Whoa! Are you for real? Oh. Oh. Well, apparently our opponent had 2 prized amalgams in hand. That's what you want if you're playing Haunted Dead. Oh, goodness. So now we're probably just dead. Our opponent's hand didn't even look very good, but if they had 2 prized amalgams, it's good. And let's draw some more lands and not be able to cast removal spells. I mean, I guess we Fleet Wheel. I don't know. Yeah, that was surprising, because our opponent's hand did not look good. And they have a Grasp. Alright. Well, that's pretty much the game, I think. I think Dredge type decks are very powerful. Like Haunted Dead, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's the game. Yeah, the thing with coding is it's super expensive for being played in a competitive deck. Well, looking like there might not be any treasure chests tonight, boys and girls. Oh no. This deck looked cool, but as far as actually working, that's another story. No, it's starting to look like this deck is just very bad. Well, I mean, that's why you play the games, is to figure it out. So if this was on your list of decks to consider for Standard Showdown this weekend, so far it seems like you might want to cross it off. But that's the good news is we play like 1,000,000 decks each week, so if we have a bad deck, at least we get to play another one shortly. I'm not accepting decks to play, are I? You're more than welcome to send me decks, email or tweet them at me. Whether or not I play them or not, I don't know, but I'll look at them. Do I have guidelines for how to build a commander deck? That sounds like a really good article that probably Tomer should write. But basically, when I build a commander deck, I'm shooting for... The big thing is like 36 to 38 lands. And then hopefully... Unless you're playing something weird, if you're just playing a normal commander deck, then I'm shooting for maybe 10 mana rocks in that area, or things that produce mana. Hopefully things that have extra value, like Commander Sphere, that you can turn into a card when you need it to. But that's what I'm kind of shooting for, is nearly 50 mana sources in the deck, including the lands. So that's the main thing. So this hand, what's up, Annihilator? Oh, we're just testing out this artifact deck, and so far to not much success. So far, it seems like playing a deck with absolutely zero removal is not wise. Man, I'm tempted to keep this hand because it has double Smuggler's Copter, and we've been getting such horrible draws, but probably can't do it. Alright, well, probably going to keep this hand. We get a Scry. This is essentially the last hand, except we get a Scry and a black mana instead of a green mana. So we get to try to Scry into... Alright, there's a land. So we get to courier into Smuggler's Copter and hope that that's enough. One thing I will say is we haven't had many Smuggler's Copter hands. And Smuggler's Copter seems like one of our best cards. Like, when this deck is kind of working, I assume that it involves Smuggler's Copter most of the time. Well, I guess this will not be a Smuggler's Copter draw either. We were really hoping for that to resolve so we could use it to play Magic. But that's okay. We didn't want to cast cards this game. Maybe Bombat Courier will get there all by its lonesome. What are we playing against? Is this just like blue-red counter spells? Yeah, it is pretty amazing that we're like essentially an all colorless land, but we still have trouble casting our stuff a lot of the time. There's a Glimmer. So is this like a Dynavolt Tower deck, probably? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we have a chance here or not. I'm currently playing my Naya Dumpster Fire, as it was dubbed last format, mostly walkers in value. How is my Naya treating me? This deck seems pretty bad so far. Well, there's red mana. Comes into play tapped, unfortunately, but technically it's red mana. So let's get in. Harness Lightning. I kind of want to just sack this Courier. I wish we had red mana. We could sack the Courier and draw a whole handful of new cards. Because apparently, we're never going to cast a Verdurous Gearhulk anyway. So come on, don't kill our Courier. I really would need to sack that Courier to draw 6 and dump these Verdurous Gearhulks. Yup, no deal. Well, now we hope we draw green sources to cast Verdurous Gearhulks. Oh, there's a this deck. I mean, the idea is cool. I don't dislike the idea, but I think this build has some issues. Having 0 interaction, just that seems like a questionable choice. Like literal 0 cards that can do anything or interact with the opponent at all. The black is just to trick our opponent, so they think we have black spells and maybe misplay. No, actually, it's to get back Scrap Heap Scrounger. And there's a couple sideboard cards. I mean, I think Combustible is cool. I like it in a ramp deck with big things. Probably the biggest problem with Combustible in this deck is our curve is actually pretty low. Like, I'm assuming our average Combustible Gearhulk is going to deal maybe 5 damage, which isn't really very threatening. So I don't think our opponent's going to... Oh, our mana! Oh, this deck was one of our instant deck tags. It was from a Japanese tournament. Look at these Gearhulks in our hand. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I've ever seen anything sadder than those Gearhulks. Technically, we have our opponent at 5 life, which is kind of a thing. But our opponent has an infinite number of counters, so I don't think we ever are going to resolve anything. Well, let's scrounge. Bombardment. Well, let's play a Copter. Oh my goodness! How many counters? What is this? Is this really a Dynavolt Tower deck? Negate Void Shatter. Void Shatter. Confirm Suspicions. Void Shatter. Oh my lord. Alright, let's get this back. Exiling doesn't matter. We'll get rid of the Chief. Momir Courier. Glimmer of Genius. We're actually like sort of kind of close to killing our opponent. And technically this is like we mulled to 5 because we can't cast any of our Gearhulks. Okay. These Verdurous Gearhulks. Seriously, we're on turn 12, and we're still 2 green mana away from Gearhulks. That's some quality deck building. Oh, Foundry Inspector. Well, our opponent's got to do something. Brutal Expulsion. Foundry Inspector. Bombhead Courier. When is the best time to buy hyped cards like Heart of Dad? So usually a couple months, a month after the set's actually released. Definitely not during spoiler season most of the time. Wow, Flame Lash? Okay. Oh no! Oh, look at this hand! we're on turn 13. Turn 13 and we don't have a single green mana. This deck is killing me. Oh. How long do I think inventions will keep declining in price? Opponent Glimmers. I'm really not sure. I'm still kind of... Oh, sorry, Zach Arrow. I'm still kind of feeling out how the inventions are going to work financially, so I don't really have a good idea yet. We don't really know. Are they going to be reprinted again? Summary Dismissal. Well, Fleet Wheel Cruiser is a good threat. Are we ever going to run our opponent out of counters? Not today, says Torrential Gearhulk. Torrential Gearhulks and Wandering Fumerals, I assume. So our opponent's going to confirm Suspicion, so I get to draw some more cards. So we are officially halfway through our deck. Oh... I mean, I guess we've exiled a few cards, but seriously. We don't even have anything we can draw into, though. It's not like we can draw into a burn spell, because our deck doesn't play those. So if we could draw into a burn spell, I might consider sacking it. Our opponent most likely has another Torrential Gearhulk now. Hey, it's a land that can't make green mana or red mana. So we have 4 uncastables in our hand. Yeah, we need like 8 or 12 ether hubs. I don't know. I don't think there's anything we can draw into that matters. That's a problem. We don't have... I mean, we can discard our hand, but... These are our best cards. This is like what we're hoping to draw. It's not like we have Fiery Temper or anything. Yeah, this mana base is questionable, I would say. I mean, we might as well just scoop, I think. Alright, well, I would assume that this turn 17 Gearhulk is probably going to get countered. Well, that was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. How many green sources do we have? What is the deal with this deck? We have 4 Ether Hubs, 2 Canopy Vistas, 2 Evolving Wilds, 4 Forests. Playing... See, I think I see the problem with this. Oh my goodness. This deck. Okay, so looking at this deck, we have 2 Swamps and 2 Concealed Courtyards. And in our deck, we have 0 black cards. We have the cost of Scrap Heap Scrounger. And then we have... oh, we... This is almost absurd now that I'm actually looking at it. We have 8 white sources, so we can make sure we can cast these built to last, which probably shouldn't be in our deck anyway. And not to be, well, actually more. We have 2 Canopy Vistas, 8, 9, 10 white sources. And not to be outdone, we got to have these red sources so we can cast a single combustible Gearhulk. In the original deck, I added a Harness Lightning. The original deck did not even have any red cards in the sideboard, so we're playing 2 basic mountains and 4 Inspiring Vantages to cast combustible Gearhulk. Alright, so I think I know why this deck is having issues. And it's because it's bad, I think, is my determination. My expert opinion is this deck has some problems. I don't even know if built to last matters. The problem is, are we going to be able to resolve anything? Yeah, this mana base, I didn't really look at it very closely before we played. But, yeah, the thing is, the Ether Hubs are all one-shots because we don't have ways to make more energy. Yeah, I guess activate Courier as well. This top-8'd a Japanese tournament. I don't know the details. Alright, this looks like a somewhat playable hand. If this deck is ever going to be successful and win a game, this is probably the time that it will do it. Because we get a Courier on turn 1, unless our opponent has a 1-mana counter. We get a Copter on turn 2 into a Selfless Spirit, and that has potential to actually win games of Magic. And we even have a Fleet Wheel Cruiser. So, oh, and green mana. Green mana? What's this world coming to? Ooh, Copter down! Any chance that I just drop from this league and remake the deck? Maybe? I don't know if I'll actually drop from it right now. We'll see how this game goes. I don't know if the deck's worth remaking, though, I think is kind of my question. Alright, let's Selfless Spirit. And Courier. And fire up our Smuggler's Copter. I don't even know if I have a better deck built at the moment. We'll discard Scrounger since we can get it back. Exile a card. We're kind of winning this game. We could still turn it around. It's still possible that we turn it around. Opponent anticipates. This deck versus Mono Blue Mill. Return to Ravnica isn't even on Magic Online anymore. It's triple Gate Crash, and triple Gate Crash is not that great. Saffronolive at mtggoldfish.com is my email. Alright, let's Foundry Inspector. Fire up our Smuggler's Copter. Do some attacking. Exile a card. Loot. I like both of these cards. I guess we discard Cruiser, though. Play Evolving Wilds, pass the turn. So we have some pretty awkward choices here. We kind of want green mana for this Gearhulk, but we also kind of want red mana for Bombat Courier, but I think that we just have to... Well, we might as well sack Selfless Spirit. Well, we definitely get green mana now. Because that allows us to cast this Gearhulk, and that should be pretty good. See, so in this hand, this deck actually looked... the deck actually looked reasonable this game. So let's fire up Smuggler's Copter. Play a Verdurous Gearhulk. I actually like the idea of a mini-series. Perhaps you could stream actually building a deck. Yeah, I think that would be fun to actually build a deck on stream. I think that would be a fun stream to do sometime. Oh, our opponent didn't have any energy. Okay. I was thinking they could Galvanic Bombardment, but apparently they cannot. I have a super exciting budget magic for next week. I think it's going to be super sweet. Well, we're not just going to scoop the whole stream right now. They probably boarded in Ceremonious Rejections. That seems likely. Let's play Plains Pass the turn. Yeah, I mean, this hand seems reasonable. I don't necessarily expect it to work out, but... Pass the turn. Hopefully we draw another mana. Alright, there goes the Selfless Spirit. Now we're behind the counters. Modern. The next budget magic is Modern. I mean, we could try to rebuild the deck, perhaps. We'll see. Could be a possibility. Well, there's a land. So that's Chief of the Foundry. Here comes the counters. Being on the draw is kind of difficult in this matchup. It puts us behind all of our opponent's counters. Oh, there's that Combustible Gearhulk. Chief of the Foundry. Opponent probably has Glimmer, I assume. Oh yeah, this deck is 2-0. On its way to the 0-4. Not 2-0, 0-2. How would I improve Combustible Ramp if budget was not an issue? I would have to look into that. I would have to look at it. I'm not sure off the top of my head how I would do that. Well, there's a tap land. Well, let's play Smuggler's Copter. Play Vantage, pass the turn. Weaver of Lightning isn't even really that great against our deck. It's okay, but... Will I make any Flashback Draft EV discussion articles in the future? We'll have to see what they do with the future of Flashback Drafts. I don't think they've really announced what they're doing for next year yet, so we got to kind of wait and see. So play Selfless Spirit. We have the old Verdurous Gearhulk, 5 mana, no green mana hand. I mean, it's pretty close to Naya. It probably should be closer to 2 colors. Maybe we'll get a chance to rebuild it. We'll have to see. And then crew up our Smuggler's Copter. Opponent goes with Flame Lash. Well, we will... I mean, our deck doesn't have removal, so we either just never play our stuff or we play it and make the most of it. Because the deck literally just does not play removal. So we get to loot with Copter. Discard Verdurous Gearhulk because we're nowhere in the area code of casting it. Play Scrapheap's Grounger. Play Concealed Courtyard. Pass turn. This deck isn't too good, Scorched Kid. Is Panharmonicon good in Modern? Been thinking of trying it in an ally deck. So far, I found it to be too slow, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't it couldn't end up being good. Well, let's play Chief of the Foundry. We might actually end up winning this match, actually. What does our opponent have? Void Shatter. Pings our Chief of the Foundry. Okay. Well, let's crew up our copter. Do some attacking. Get to loot. I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Discard the swamp. Ooh, our opponent takes it. Well, this is pretty good because we might actually get in a position where we get to resolve a combustible Gearhulk. Because our opponent's been a little mana screwed, but we actually might win this match. So maybe our horribleness is overrated. Although the mana is still pretty bad, even if we win. Alright, so let's fire up Smuggler's Copter. See if we can get our opponent to tap down or tap out, and then after combat we can resolve Combustible Gearhulk. We might actually get a match win. Feels like we're playing against the odds. Definitely casting Verdurous Gearhulk is extremely against the odds. Harness Lightning. Alright. Well, we'll loot. Discard the Verdurous Gearhulk. It has been good for discarding. I'll give it that. Bone and blocks. We lose Scrounger. Well, I don't think our opponent's going to be able to counter this. It's a Combustible Gearhulk. It resolves. Our opponent's probably going to let us draw 3, or they just risk dying. Ooh, and it's even green mana. And double Fleet Wheel Cruiser. We're going to win. We're actually going to win. Yeah, you can't change the mana base in the middle of the league, but we're gonna win a match. It's gonna happen. Treasure chests are not over with. We have hope. We just gotta win 2 more matches with this mana base. And then I think if we finish this league, then we'll talk about rebuilding this deck, which a couple people asked about, and then we can do a game of Momir, hopefully to wrap things up. But this is looking pretty good. I think we got there. So, Foundry Inspector. Opponent rejects it. Well, let's see if they have another rejection. Fleet Wheel Cruiser. Are we really going to win? Naya Artifacts? Oh, we got the GGs! It happened! I think someone asked Maz last stream, so we'll see if they're around. Yeah, we should be playing till around 9 o'clock, Filthy Casual. Sometime between 8:30 and 9 when things wrap itself up. All right, we won a match. Which is pretty sweet. Whoo! All right, that's good. Are we going to get some Modern in here? Seems unlikely that we will be playing Modern tonight. I think finishing this league, looking at how we would rebuild this deck, and then Momir to close things out, I think is the itinerary for tonight. Luckily, what is the clock now my time? It's just after 7:30 my time. Luckily, we have Modern for Budget Magic next week, and the deck is super awesome. I'm so excited for this deck. It is super good. Sphinx of the Chimes, 7-turn win. Play the Fan charity fundraiser. Ooh, we did a Play the Fan celebration stream, but that could be a good idea. Great Germ! Welcome to the Fishbowl for the second month in a row. Let's give a big scoops cheer for our new subscriber, the Great Germ. Oh yeah, we got an update. We actually have a win. We don't want to sell ourselves short. The deck can win. Did win. Opponent leads on Insolent Neonate. Maybe this is a good matchup. Replace Momir to close out the stream with with always Lantern control. I think people would riot. I don't think people would be happy. Well, let's courier and attack. This might be the red deck we had, actually. This might be the red deck from our instant deck text, the like super aggressive one. It seems possible. This is Evolving Wilds is killing us. DS Lap, welcome to the Fishbowl, and thank you for your subscription. Big scoops cheer for our newest subscriber, DS Lap. Thank you for your support. Super awesome of you. Speaking of support, if you're looking for another way to support the site, make sure to check out the merch page featuring deck boxes and playmats and sleeves, the newest addition to the merch family. Oh, that's what's happening. Insolent Neonate discards a Haunted Dead. This again. How many... If they have double... No! Oh. How many times is this going to happen to us on the same stream? What are... Why does every one of our opponents have hands that are 1 mana discard outlet, Haunted Dead, and double prized amalgam? Why? Why? Why don't we have hands like that? Alright, Evolving Wilds go. That is the second time that's happened to us this stream. I mean, Standard Dredge is one thing, but the old like that's the combo hand. That's like a 4-card combo. 1 mana discard outlet, Haunted Dead, and 2 prized amalgams. That's like the best draw, the best starting hand this deck can have, I think. Down to 11. Crack Evolving Wilds. I guess we just get green mana. Play Canopy Vista. And now, this is where our cards match up pretty poorly. Like, what do we do here? Play Chief of the Foundry so we can try to block Haunted Dead and they can get it back along with more prized amalgams? Opponent gets a Smoldering Marsh. Opponent gets in with amalgams. Can't block those. We get an Ether Hub, so play an Ether Hub. Play Filigree Familiar. Yeah, maybe that would have been better, though, but we would have been down to 3, and then we would have been dead to a... we would have been dead to a lot of things. I guess we're still in the same position. Block, block. I mean, what else can we really do? We get to draw a card. It's a tap land. And there's Voldaren Pariah. And our deck does not have removal. And that be the game. Yeah, that is a really powerful starting hand. Well, we played a 2-3, so our opponent wouldn't be able to attack with the Haunted Dead. If we played the other one, they would have been able to attack with Haunted Dead, and we would have taken more damage down into Fiery Temper range. I don't know if that's necessarily right or not, but that was the thinking there. We get a Declaration in Stone. We get, I guess, Anguished Unmaking. And maybe Cataclysmic Gearhulk. I do know that I think every single time we've sideboarded, we've just immediately taken out Built to Last, which I'm pretty sure means Built to Last should not be in the deck. Is Blue-White Flash dead? I don't think Blue-White Flash is dead. It is still fairly heavily played. I think it's still near the top of the format. It actually still is. I mean, Aetherworks Marvel is up in the same range now, but it's still the biggest deck in the format in the Goldfish database, so I don't think it's dead by any means. I think it's come back down to earth a little bit. Yeah, this deck has some issues, I think. You're so right, J-Sweet. It is like a four card combo to cast our removal on time. All right, I mean this is a hand with mana that casts non-Verdurous Gearhulk things. We have had a really difficult time casting Verdurous Gearhulk. Yeah, Jeskai Nahiri's kind of fallen down the format in Modern. That much is very true. I mean, Control is still a fairly tough sell in Modern, so... Alright, get in with our Bummet Courier. What's up, King Z? How goes it? Welcome, hello from the US. Foreboding Ruins. Does our opponent have the combo? If they have that again, I'm gonna cry. At least like one, maybe one Prized Amalgam. I can deal with one Prized Amalgam. Alright, there's the discard outlet. Well, we can discard our, hopefully, discard our Evolving Wilds to Smuggler's Copter. Yeah, let's attack. If our opponent wants to trade off and not discard, that's fine with us. Yes, apparently that was fake. No Atlantis Magic card sets. Not fake, but Wizards... Ooh, they just let it die. Alright. Wizards printed that just for the survey or whatever, so it's not an actual real set. Yes, Wizards actually had to shut down Magic Online for a while today because they accidentally unbanned Drake without realizing it. So Drake was for a while legal in Pauper again. I think it's fixed now, so it should be banned again. I don't know how they managed to do that. That's a weird one, Wizards. Alright, pass the turn. I wish we were able to discard. Yeah, well, I think they did say it's not a real set, didn't they? I mean, what was their... I thought they tweeted. Maybe they were tweeting in a way... Well, if we attack with Copter, they just kill it with Sinister Concoction. Which doesn't feel that great. Let's Courier. Well, I mean, our opponent has a removal spell sitting out on the table. So they just kill it whenever... If we ever turn it on, we won't even get to loot with it. Opponent blocks the Courier. So this is a Lightning Axe? Lightning Axe pitches a Scrounger, kills our Familiar. We get a Cultivator. Ugh, we are so vehicle flooded. Well, hopefully we draw things to turn on our vehicles. Pass the turn. The Squid Labs, what was your comment? I think I missed it. I wasn't trying to ignore it. I just did not see it. What they said is it has nothing to do with whether the sets were real or not. They only said designs were test prints, but said nothing about the legitimacy of the sets. Yeah, I'd have to look at the tweet again. I saw it a while ago. These images are from a real survey of ours, but the survey was made to test packaging concepts, not test actual packaging. So I guess that isn't a... I guess that isn't a 100%. It's not real. So that's true. Well, let's sit back here and our opponent only has 2 lands, but we're still kind of losing. Finally got to catch you online. Big fan of the articles. Hope prototypical red gets more than an instant deck tech. Yeah, that one was pretty popular. I think it could end up showing up on stream at least. Opponent gets in with Scrap Heap. Well, let's crack a Valving Wilds. Get a Forest. Play Foundry Inspector. And we are going to crew up our Looter Scooter here. If our opponent kills it, they kill it. Go to combat. And if our opponent kills it, we get to fire up Cultivator's Caravan. Alright, so now we use it to crew Cultivator's Caravan. The old vehicle flying a vehicle trick. Lose our copter. Get in with the caravan. What did our opponent discard? They did discard a Haunted Dead. Okay. So they're going to be able to get back their Haunted Dead. We got the removal spell off the table, but we lost our Smuggler's Copter. Yes, those porn bots. I don't know why they always come after us. Alright. Opponent passes. We draw more planes. Well, let's crew up this thing. This deck just feels like it's been very inconsistent. Like, we either are mana screwed and can't do anything, or we flood out. We haven't had very many... Oh, goodness. We haven't had very many good draws with this deck, it feels like. So our opponent did have a Prized Amalgam in hand, so they're going to have a pretty fast clock. I think there's music. It's just quiet. Maybe you can't hear it. I can turn it up a little. Maybe that'll make it more audible. So opponent blocks. Play a planes. Pass the turn. Opponent gets back Prized Amalgam. The blue-white deck. Looks like a reasonable blue-white control deck. Or blue-white flash. One card I like in that deck is Wall of Omen, so that would be a consideration to add in. Some good blocking and card advantage in the early game. Alright, opponent. Oh, passes. Alright, we draw more mana. Play a land, pass the turn. Yeah, Nissa Vital Force is pretty powerful. Opponent gets back another Scrap Heap Scrounger. Well, they say that Mana Screw beats Mana Flood, and that seems to be true in this case. Let's crew up our Caravan on defense. Block a Prized Amalgam. Anguish in Making. Not a good card when you're at 4 life and facing down a bunch of creatures. Yeah, this deck. Well, we got one more round. One more round. We're gonna play it out for the sake of playing it out. See if we can at least go. See if we can at least go 2 and 3 rather than 1 and 4, and then we will look at fixing it before we move on to Momir. I have seen the Kibler shuffling video. He is quite the shuffler. All right, this hand on its face looks reasonable, so that's good. Will it work out? I have my doubts. We've been burnt by this deck so many games before, but it might. You never know. Concealed Courtyard and Town. Ooh, this is the Black-White Humans list. We haven't seen this yet. Ooh, in another land? Momir is a really interesting and random Magic Online format with lots of random creatures and kind of playing the board stuff. It's interesting. All right, Inspiring Vantage and Looter Scooter. Unfortunately, we don't have removal, so we pretty much have to just actually be able to fight this deck on the ground. Whoa! This is game 1. That is main deck Fragmentize. Wow. No, Blue-White Flash isn't dead. Okay. Well, let's play a Foundry Inspector. Pass the turn. Blue-red summonings? What are you talking about? Opponent gets in. We drop 218. Opponent has a Thalia, which is pretty obnoxious here. So let's Filigree Familiar. Gain a couple life. We don't quite have Gearhulk mana. And then I guess we might as well just cast Scrounger too. Just cast it all. Pass the turn. I mean, it's not over. I think we're going to win. Hopefully beat our opponent on their Mull to 5. It could happen. We might squeak out a victory somehow. As depressing as that sounds. Blue-black summonings. We're 3-1 and then kind of packed it in on the last game to some extent. But we finished 3-2. The matches were incredibly long and grindy, so want to play free win red, but Ensnaring Bridge keeps going up and up. I think it's mostly Lantern Control that's driving the price of it at the moment. Haha! We're the deck with no removal spells, so nice Chemball. Although we do have a Built to Last. So let's play a Scrap Heap Scrounger, which can't block. So I think it's mostly Lantern that's causing Bridge to increase. Hit our opponent. Hope they don't have any removal. And we can Built to Last and kill something. Yeah, there's Chemball. Not a great matchup for Chemball, but good card occasionally. Yeah, this deck is questionable. I swear we've had so many games where we've had multiple Verdurous Gearhulks in our hand and not been able to cast them. And I think Verdurous Gearhulk is one of the most powerful cards in our deck. So when we talk about fixing the deck, I think that is one of the things we'll start with. Wolf Dragon. I have the ability to borrow cards, thankfully. So I can just borrow the cards I need for videos or for streaming, so that makes it a little bit easier. The secret to beating Chemball is not playing good cards. Pretty much. Opponent's trying to decide on their attacks. Dancing back and forth with Thalia. Leaves Thalia back. Well, we're going to go for it. Block. Actually, yeah, let's block Chemball. See if our opponent pumps. Built to last on our Filigree Familiar. See if anything goes wrong. Looks like no. Alright. Kill the Kemble. Scrappy Scrounger. And a Shambling Vent. Well, we get a Foundry Inspector. Pass the turn. Oh. Always watching for the blowouts. Opponent's out of cards. So I think we're about to lose when our opponent mulligan to 5. So that's something. Fleetwheel Cruiser. Not very good here. And a Plains. So double Verdurous Gearhulk again, but not being able to cast it. Yeah, this deck is about a 1 out of 10. No. Did I build this? Oh my goodness. Thank God no. This is one of our instant deck decks. Someone played it in a Japanese tournament is where I found it. So that's how it made its way to instant deck decks, and then from instant deck decks to here. So that's where it came from. But I don't know what the meta's like in Japan, but this deck does not seem playable in the Magic Online meta. I guess we'll have to see what colors we are when we fix this deck. Unlicensed Disintegration could be good. I do like this song, Awesome Dude. We can build Sphinx of Chimes. Sphinx of Chimes could be a good against odds card. I don't know about Arlingcord. They're like Arlingcord it's okay, but I think I don't know. I don't know where it really fits in our current standard format. Yeah. Well, we got mana. This ends is not good, but yeah, or Arlingcord can be good in the right build. Am I angry at this deck or just disappointed? I'm not angry. I mean, that's why you play these decks is to, wow, 5 months in a row. I don't think that's possible, but thank you, Del Rodas. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you for the resubscription. I don't even think we had the ability to have subs 5 months ago, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Big Scoops cheer for you. What were we talking about? I can't remember now. I lost the comment. Oh, my angry or disappointed? No, the reason we play these decks is to see if they're viable, check them out, see what they're like. You never really know. Like, some decks look good on paper, and this deck, I had my reservations. I didn't think it would be able to beat turn 4 Emrakul, but then, like, what can? I mean, not many decks are going to beat turn 4 Emrakul. So that's not necessarily a deal breaker in our current standard, just because, I mean, Emrakul is Emrakul. So you gotta play him to find out what the decks really have and how they work out. So down to 17 for our opponent. This deck looked sweet, but it is very not sweet once you get down below the surface. Opponent has a Selfless Spirit. I assume they're going to start no looting? Okay. Well, that was a good draw. We might actually steal a game here. We actually... most of the time we've been casting like turn 17 Verdurous Gearhulks. But this time, we actually get to cast a turn 4 Verdurous Gearhulk, which is what this deck wants to do. Verdurous Gearhulk on turn 4 can win a lot of games, but I swear the biggest frustration of this deck has been Verdurous Gearhulks just rotting in our hand because we haven't been able to cast them. So that's been the biggest frustration of this deck. I was on the Emrakul train from the beginning, but yes, a lot of people were kind of skeptical of Emrakul. Make the deck Jund with some burn finish. That's a good idea. Could be a possibility. There's a courier. Well, let's just attack with both. Could I please brew around Gonti and Demon and Pariah as mono black in a future competitive non-budget deck? Ooh, those are some sweet cards. I really like Voldaren Pariah. I think that's one of the most underrated cards in Standard. And we could probably slide in some Panharmonicons. Opponent goes double blocking. I think we're just going to kill the Smuggler's Copter. Opponent gets to loot. Of course. Pauper RB, Pauper or Bust. Welcome back to the Fishbowl for the second month in a row. Thank you for the resubscription. Let's give a big scoop cheer for Pauper Arbust, our resubscriber. So, Copter down. Will I actually play decks that you send me? Honestly, I don't play decks that I get sent very often, but it does happen on occasion. So, if you send me a deck, I can't promise I'll play it. I get so many decks sent to me that there's simply not enough hours in the day to actually play all of them. And I like brewing my own decks. That's kind of what I like to do. So I will happily look it over when I have some time, but whether or not I actually play it, it could happen, but it also could not happen. Expedition Envoy for our opponent. I'm going to refurbish a... Yes, Tracy King. This deck is just super bad. The story of this deck is the mana base is like amazingly bad. Like, it's hard to imagine how bad the mana base is. So we mostly just have Verdurous Gearhulks rotting in our hand. That's kind of been how this deck has worked out. Cultivator's Caravan. Well, play the Plains. Opponent save their Smuggler's Copter. Well, let's play Cultivator's Caravan. Do some attacking. What type of microphone do I use? It's just a headset. So I think it's like Panatronics. I don't remember. I'd have to look at the name of it. Can you send me a Pauper list? Yes, but if you want to send a Pauper list, you're probably better off sending it to Jake, because Jake does the Pauper videos and he plays viewer submitted decks on Pauper, on playing Pauper fairly regularly. So, I mean, or you can send it to me and I can forward it to him or some things. Maybe you do a special stream where you play submitted decks once a month, maybe. That could be interesting. If that was something people wanted to see, that could be a good idea. All right, let's pass the turn. I think we're gonna win this game. K Luz Punk. Oh, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big scoops here for our newest subscriber. And 2 in a row. Thank you. You all are awesome. Harold Dorado. Welcome to the Fishbowl. And thank you for your subscription. Big scoops here for our newest subscriber. Dual-grabbed exemplar for our opponent. That is some good cheering, everyone. Impressive cheering. Squid Labs comes in over the top with the biggest cheer yet. Watching you play terrible decks has been entertaining. Maybe play the most terrible deck submitted each month. I don't know why people like terrible decks so much, but they do. People love terrible decks. I don't know. I don't know why people love it so much. Well, we get to get back a Scrap Heap Scrounger. We get to get back another Scrap Heap Scrounger using all of our energy. And we're pretty close to winning. Well, Filigree Familiar doesn't just win us the game, but it's pretty close. So we get to Filigree Familiar, gain a life. That lets us crew up our Cultivator's Caravan. Probably should have left this black mana up, although we're not going to have a creature anyway, but that probably would have been right. Well, I'm pretty used to playing jank, and even when I'm losing, I still like having fun playing Magic, so yes! And it makes it all the more satisfying when you win, when you're playing a deck that apparently is bad. Where can I send Jake a Pauper deck? I believe that Pauper at mtggoldfish.com will go to Jake. You can also send it to me, Saffron Olive, at mtggoldfish.com, and I can forward it along to him. But I believe Pauper at mtggoldfish.com will go to him. Yeah, I should have used the swamp there. I should have left open the swamp there. That's true, Munger. I am happy when I win. Because it's awesome to watch terrible, danky decks beat tier 1 decks. Well, when it happens, it's pretty awesome. Gotta play Niv-Mizzet in Commander. Ooh. That would be a sweet commander. Oh, you haven't missed much. Well, double vehicles. Alright, whatever. Hopefully we draw a creature and can loot and scoot our way into some better cards. Or Evolving Wilds. That's like a creature. Pretty much. Scrap Heap Scrounger. Well, we get to get double green mana, so we'll actually be able to Gearhulk if we draw one. And Harness Lightning. Well, let's just play a Smuggler's Copter. We can wait. We might be able to get 2 Scrap Heap Scroungers with our Declaration, potentially, if our opponent... Good Lord, Fragmentize in this deck. What's up, Average Toaster? Oh, this deck is so bad. And our opponent's playing main deck Fragmentize, which isn't making things any better. Main deck Fragmentize. Is that really what Standard has come to? I guess it kind of makes sense, but still. Yeah, Apes of Wrath. This deck is just... It has some... Whoa! All the Fragmentizes. This deck has some fairly serious issues. This is, yeah. It's got problems. And winning ain't one. Alright, Fleetwheel Cruiser. We get to get in some damage. Pretty out of threats, though. Coin Flip Tribal for Commander. I think Tomer... the nice Thalia's Lieutenant Scrap Heap Scrounger synergy. Some good deck building there. I don't know about main deck Fragmentize. Maybe it's the correct call. I'm a little skeptical. 270, welcome back to the Fishbowl. 2-month resubscription. Big scoops here for our resubscriber. 270, thank you, thank you. Well, let's get in with our career. Opponent is going to block, not block. And then we'll just Declaration in stone. Get rid of the Scrounger. Play the forest. Pass the turn. Welcome back, Mega Blaster. What problem are you having, Maz? Playing Commander last night. Soren Markov's mana cost was wrong. I have not noticed that, but you never know. It does usually... yes, it does announce resubscriptions, I believe. I only see them if it happens during the stream, though. So if you resubbed at a time when I wasn't live, I might not see it. So if I missed yours, Mark Moling, thank you as well for your resub if I missed it. Alright, opponent gets in with Thalia's Lieutenant. Well, I think our plan is to kill the little Thalia's Lieutenant. And then hopefully use this courier to draw... Ooh, there's a Smuggler's Copter. Well, let's play Smuggler's Copter. Play a Mountain. Attack with the courier. Sack it to draw a couple cards. Play Chief of the Foundry and pass the turn. Well, now things are shaping up. We're still kind of vehicle flooded, but we can actually crew our vehicles for once, and we can even... Alright, Declaration in stone. So, crew up our copter. Well, maybe we're going to actually finish with 2 wins. And I guess technically we'd have 3 wins, since we won 1 game before the league while Moto was being broken. There's a Scrounger. I don't know about this Thalia's Lieutenant Scrap Heap Scrounger business. Seems not great. We really need to draw a actual card here. Oh, now we're dead. I mean, we can play Ether Hub and hope our opponent doesn't go for it, but I'm sure they will. Yikes. Well, even when it seems like things are going good for this deck. Oh, do they have a land? Did they not go for it? Oh, they just have enough humans? Oh, God. All right. Well. So, what do we learn about Naya Artifacts? And, ooh, man. So this deck was epically bad. We went 1 and 4, which is, I mean, obviously not what you're looking for when you're playing leagues or playing your game days. So the biggest thing with this deck is the mana base is god-awful. It is amazingly, stunningly, epically awful. So that's the biggest problem. We're going to update this deck a little bit, and then we'll close out with a game of Momir tonight. So first, I said I would fix this deck. So if I was going to fix this deck, this is where I would start. First off, we get rid of Combustible Gearhulk. It is insane to be playing 5 red sources for a single Combustible Gearhulk. That lets us get rid of all these red lands, which are cluttering up our draws, making our lives miserable. Sure, we need them for Bombat Courier, but we can pay for that with Ether Hubs. We can maybe play a duel or 2, but we don't need to have all those lands. Second, we don't need to play a million Built to Last. The idea of running Built to Last seems cute. It makes our stuff indestructible, but we need things that actually kill our opponent's stuff. So Built to Last is gone. The rest of the main deck, to keep it in the spirit of the deck, it's actually not that bad. I don't really mind the rest of the main deck. It's not horrible. But the mana base is still super clunky. We're playing a bunch of black mana to get to get back Scrap Heap Scrounger. That's makes sense. You want to get back Scrap Heap Scrounger, but we don't need to be playing a bunch of basic swamps. I'm not even super comfortable with Evolving Wilds, but it might be a necessary evil. And what are all these white sources for? Sideboard cards? We don't have any white cards in our main deck. Why are we playing all these basic planes? So I would probably cut down to 1 plains, most likely. Maybe 1 mountain. I guess it's going to depend on the sideboard. If we're still playing a ton of white cards in the sideboard, then we will probably have to. What is going on? What filters do I have set? I'm so confused. Why are you not just showing me mountains? Alright, so add in a mountain. Maybe something like that. This gives us 17 lands. It means we probably should add in some dual lands. But we're pretty focused on green and... We're pretty focused on green and maybe white in the sideboard. So we're probably just adding in some more actual duals. Like, Canopy Vista, I think. Probably add in another Canopy Vista. What do we need? Red for this and black for Scrap Heap Scrounger. So I guess we could play a red-black land. That might not be wise. If we're going to play white-black duels, it might be better just to play Shambling Vents. It makes us play off curve, but Shambling Vents is an actual good card. And we really struggled on finding green mana that game. But we could probably play a Shambling Vents. Maybe bring back in an Inspiring. Well, we got to decide about these sideboard cards is the big thing. That's the thing that's really going to decide how much white mana we need. We could go black and go Noxious Gearhulk, but is that what this deck wants to be doing? Like, do we... What is this deck trying to do? Is this an artifact aggro deck? Or is this kind of like a mid-range, go big artifact deck? So what's the heart of this deck? What's the goal of this deck? And that's what we're pretty much... That's what the question is. And I mean, really, we're one color. Our splash colors are for these abilities, and I think that's fine because we're still able to cast Bombat Couriers. We're still able to cast all this stuff. I guess we could get rid of white mana altogether and go... A lot of people want Unlicensed Disintegration. Going Jund makes sense. And we could get rid of white mana. It's going to have a huge impact on our... Well, let's just get rid of lands altogether then. And just make a Jund mana base. If that's what we're doing. Adventure's Fair, I will definitely add in. That is a good suggestion from a couple of people. So let's just go Jund. Jund is fine. I think that's a reasonable choice. I was shying away from it because that means changing a lot of the sideboard. But we can make a pretty good Jund mana base, I think. We get Smoldering Marshes. We get Cinderglades. We get probably a couple Hissing Quagmires. There's not as many duels as I would like. We get Blooming Marshes. 17 lands. Alright, Smoldering Marsh, 18 lands. Forests, 1, 2, 3. Then we bring in a couple swamps, or a swamp, a mountain. That puts us up to 23 lands. That might be fine. We had 24 before. Maybe another Hissing Quagmire. Something like that as a rough mana base. Yeah, we got some Blooming Marshes. We got 4 Blooming Marshes. And then we can play Unlicensed Disintegration. That seems like a good choice for removal. What am I just not spelling this? Oh, Inventor's Fair. I don't know what. Oh, did I typo it? Yeah, we can bring in Inventor's Fair, maybe over a Cinder Glade. Yeah, I guess I was typing that completely wrong. So we can bring in 4 Unlicensed Disintegrations. That's a good removal spell. We can bring in Harness Lightning, perhaps. Excuse me. So bring in some Harness Lightnings. Maybe all 4. 3 or 4. Maybe it's also Fiery Temper. That could be better. And then maybe go down one of these. Noxious Gearhulk was mentioned. So Noxious Gearhulk. Can also bring a Noxious Gearhulk in the sideboard. As far as the rest of the main deck, I think it's fairly okay. We can probably not play Filgrieve Familiars in the main deck. And maybe go to 1 Cultivator's Caravan and try something like that. Ooh, Sky Sovereign is a good option. If we're going vehicles. Do we want that in the main deck? Is that... Well, we got a lot of 5s and 6s. I don't know. So maybe something like that. Sideboard, we get more Noxious Gearhulks. Get rid of this stuff. We bring in... Let's see. Not completely disregard. Transgress. Bring in Transgress the Mines. Pick the Brain. Think Harness Lightning in the sideboard? Alright. Then what are we putting in the main deck? If we're moving that over. I don't think Combustible is good unless you're playing big expensive things. That's the big problem. Radiant Flames is an option. I'll put a Combustible. I'll put a Combustible in the sideboard. I don't know if it's worth it. Fiery Grasp is... Or Grasp of Darkness might be better. Probably Grasp of Darkness is the way to go. Incendiary Flow, it's okay. I don't like it because it's not instant speed, though. Sky Sovereign, okay. That's 14 cards. Not Grasp? Oh, we don't have anything to really kill a Planeswalker. Probably worth bringing in Ruinous Path. I don't know. Something like this. They'd have to mess around with the sideboard a little bit. Like, Temper more than Grasp. Alright. Well, we'll go Temper over Grasp. Alright, maybe something like this then. But we need one more something in the main deck. I guess we can go back up the Fleet Wheel. Alright, 3 more cards. Give me your votes for these last... We need 3 more main deck cards, basically. Oh, awesome, dude. Planeswalkers in the side is a reasonable idea for controlling decks. Sky Sovereign in the main deck? Yeah, I mean, we are kind of red-black aggro at this point. Yeah, we did have removal in here before. It could just be like Ruinous Path, Apia. Oh, I wish it was P and Karen Noir. And a Sky Sovereign. Alright, so something like that. That's, if we're gonna do the Twitch rebuilds the deck, this looks pretty reasonable to me. Our mana is gonna be much more successful. We're kind of similar to the red-black aggro deck, but splashing green for Verdurous Gearhulk, essentially. We might want artifact removal in the sideboard. That could be something we can update. So, is this gonna work? I don't know. No Panharmonicon in this one. I don't actually have all the cards to do a test game right now is the biggest problem. Sorry, Spectrum. I can't do it right now. So we could do a test game at some point, but I don't have, like, Unlicensed Disintegration, Blooming Marsh. I don't actually have these cards in my collection, so I can't actually just play it right now. But I think this looks much more competitive. We have a good base. We have the Verdurous Gearhulks that are very powerful. We get some aggro stuff. We got our Copters, but we actually have removal this time to deal with our opponent stuff. So I think that this would be a lot more successful. And the biggest thing is we're not going to get stuck with our powerful cards rotting in our hand because our mana base is horrible. So that's probably the biggest thing. Like, this mana looks so much smoother, so much better. We're down to 3 colors. We're not doing all that horrible stuff. Forerunner. Forerunner of Slaughter. Colorless creature gains haste. Alright. We can try one of those. But something like this, I think, is where Nerd Ape, I mean, and that's where we're still at. And I think as we played with the deck, we'd have to decide. You kind of go one of two directions. If we're going to go aggro, we almost just, like, get rid of Verdurous Gearhulks and just literally be red-black aggro. Couriers, Nerd Apes, Scroungers, Copters, more Pianolars, and we're basically playing red-black aggro, which is already a deck. Forerunner is challenging to cast. It's only a one of, and some people requested it. I don't think it's horrible. It could be okay. But I don't know. So I think that it's possible that we would end up with actual red-black aggro and end up cutting the Verdurous Gearhulks and some of the high-end stuff as we play the game. But turn 4 Gearhulk is a really good play. That is super powerful, and that's kind of the main competitive advantage for this deck, so I don't know. Anyway, so that's our standard portion. Someone last stream, I believe, asked me to do a game of Momir. I don't know if that person's around. I don't remember who it was. But this is your chance. You get first dibs if you want to play Momir. Will we ever get legacy videos from Momir? Maybe? We get Gearhulk thanks to Foundry Inspector, making our stuff cheaper. So we play Foundry Inspector on turn 3, then we can Verdurous Gearhulk on turn 4 and just go aggro. Annihilator, I don't really have standard decks built right now, so I don't think I can play a game of standard. Oh, okay. Oh, you're not at home, so you can't. Alright. Well, then, since Loquib can't do it tonight, I guess it is up for grabs. If you want to play Momir, then send me a challenge, and we can do a game of Momir to close things out tonight. We haven't played it in a little while. It's nice at least once a week to wrap things up with a game of Momir. Didn't we just play Maz? Like, haven't we played like the last 2 or 3 times? Well, we'll go for it. Oh, Annihilator? Do you have Momir Annihilator? I feel like we've played a whole bunch of times, Timothy. And we should probably give someone else a chance. But no one else has challenged me yet. So maybe you're okay. All right, Timothy. Well, we'll play tonight, and then next time we'll give someone else. Next time we play Momir. Oh, sorry, Puka. You were beaten out. So next time you'll be at the bottom of the line, Timothy, for the next Momir game. All right, Momir time. Let me pull up the Momir overlay for all you people who are probably wondering how this works and what it's about. So give me just a second to find it. We'll keep. Momir overlay. Alright. There's Momir. So, play land. No, no one drop. I'm not a one drop player. No, 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 no. There's a swamp. Taps out. Passes. We will make a 2-drop, though. So, it's all lands, but you get random creatures. So, we make a 2-drop. Can only do it once a turn. Ooh. White Shield Crusader. 2-1, pro-black. Pro-black twice for some reason. Pay a white to give it flying. Can also pump it up. The spoiler, pretty much unplayable. Can't block. It's a token in Momir, so you can't even return it, actually. I probably shouldn't have attacked there. I probably should have just blocked and killed that thing. I saw the Magic survey. I wonder what the truth is. Lithotog. Second artifact or a land to give it +1/+1? Okay. Oh, there was a release of some products, like booster pack packaging. And one of them appeared to be for a unknown set that had to do with like Atlantis and Aztecs and stuff. So we don't really know what the truth is. It's possible that's a future block that's coming up. Nightshade's here, just a 1/1 for 4, not very good. So it's possible it could be a... It's possible it could be a block coming up. It's also possible it's just a made-up thing for the survey. You have to play all lands. Only lands allowed. Carnage Gladiator, whenever a creature blocks, its controller loses a life. Okay. Well, I guess we just take our beats. Return to Theros already? Yeah, it could be. I wish we'd go back to some older places. Seems like we're cycling through the same, like, the most recent 5 years of sets or something over and over again. It would be kind of sweet to go back and see, I don't know, not Kamigawa in specific, Alara, Lorwyn, maybe. I don't know about Kamigawa itself. Carrion Worm. Whenever it attacks, any player may exile 3 cards from their graveyard. If you do, it assigns no damage. Return to Lorwyn. Alara, I would really like Return to Alara. I like multicolor worlds. Well, this is a pretty easy block. I mean, we're going to lose some life, but this has pro-black. This, we got to get off the battlefield. If our opponent wants to start sacking lands, that is fine. Return to Homelands. That would be interesting. Geez, sacking lands? I'm perfectly fine with our opponent sacking lands. I didn't know so many people wanted Kamigawa. A lot of people are saying that. Destroy target enchanted creature. Okay. Not going to be very relevant in Momir. Yeah, I forget the name of it, but there was a storm scale for returning planes. Well, this pro-black White Shield Crusader has been very good. I mean, we're kind of losing 1 life thanks to this Gladiator, but still, it's been good. Well, we'll play a forest. No phage! No phage, please. What do we get? Deceiver of Forms. Beginning of your combat, reveal the top card of your library. If a creature card's revealed that way, you can have creatures become copies of it. Alright, that's not relevant. Okay. Awkward. I guess we do some attacking a little bit. I guess it's an 8/8, which is kind of big. I've still have never hit a phage ever. Yeah, we're done with our league. We played Naya Artifacts, and it was not super good. Oh, this thing regenerates? I guess that's a punt on my part. I didn't even remember this regenerating, but okay. That works. Yeah, so we're just wrapping things up with a game of Momir. Kind of closing out the stream. Opponent, ooh. The Wolf Blood. Kind of scary. Well, let's make an 8-drop, see what we can find. Not many punts tonight, at least that been yelled at about. 9/9 trample. Oh man, this thing's gonna drive me insane. Triggers every turn for exactly 0 reason. Return to Phyrexia of Future Pasts. Anti-Phyrexian cards. Tap mana and pay 2 life for each symbol. That would be interesting. I wonder how powerful the cards could be if you had to actually do both. I wonder if you could really push the power level. Opponent, ooh, Banefire Dragon. That's a blowout. Neat. 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 Yes, that is neat, Timothy. It's also going to ruin my day if we don't hit a flyer. Oh, this Deceiver of Forms. We might be able to win through this. Opponent blocks. Down to 10. So this is going to deal... When it deals combat damage to a player, deals that much to each creature that player controls. Oh, that's Terastodon. Well, that's a combo. Can kill our stuff and then just wipe it out with Dragon. Ay! Oh, Naya Artifacts was epically bad. We did some rebuilding attempts into Jund Artifacts at the end, which might have made it better, but we had some very big mana-based troubles. We had multiple games where we just got stuck with Verdurous Gearhulks rotting in our hand. Second Elemental gets +3/+1. And that is a giant. Willem Screamer. Oh, welcome back to the Fishbowl. It's party time. 2nd month in a row. Thank you so much for your resubscription. Big scoops cheer for our resubscriber. Alright. Well, not much we can do about this. We just got to try to win on the backswing, maybe? I don't know if that's possible. Whoa! The same creature? What are the odds of that? That should not happen. Oh, well, I'm glad you like the mechanical keyboard. How am I going to jump a flyer? We can't jump a flyer. That doesn't work that way. And Borborgamos. Wait, now what did I do wrong? How was I supposed to block the flyer? I know I could have saved the giant. Yes. That was just a misclick. It wouldn't have ended up mattering, but I thought you were saying that I should have chump blocked. No, that is true that I should have saved the giant. Since you like my anti-Phyrexia mana, could I tempt you with anti-dredge to reduce the cost of spells your opponent takes cards out of their graveyard and puts them in their hand? Yes, yes, yes. I should have kept the giant alive. I don't know if it would have mattered, but yes, I should have done that. Swamp and you. Mountain for our opponent. Yeah, we didn't have white mana for it. Alright, let's make it 2, see what we get. Well, maybe we'll hit some levelers for the Champion's Drake to become a 4/4. Do I think a budget version of Mono Black Control may be viable in Modern, similar to the one you played a few weeks ago, minus Lilianas and such? That's actually not bad, redraw. I think it could be. I guess you'd have to decide how budget you were going to be. I think, in our experience with the deck, Obliterator was key to most of the games that we won. So I think that that's a card that you really would need. I think you can get by without the Lilianas, although they were very good. But I wouldn't want to play it without the Obliterators. Saheeli combo control in Modern. Yeah, we put together a Jund version of the artifact deck. We haven't actually played it yet, but we did put it together. Yeah, it's fairly rare because it's from a fairly old set. New Phyrexia is, I think, relatively low supply compared to modern day.
Incredible television it shows. Streaming has incredible television shows. Streaming is instant. Streaming is fairly global. Streaming has many things that make it different, and that over time, both DVD and streaming will be much better because they're separate.
Opponent gets a Mystic Zealot. Gonna be a 5/3 flyer in a minute here. Ooh, Saheeli to copy pin Harmonicon? Ooh. Have I been voting in the Magic bracket? I have sometimes. Not as consistently as I intended to, but I have been doing it, yeah. I think it's a really cool idea. The only downside is it's going to be so long. I can't believe that someone's actually undertaking it. It's like 2 years of polls every day. That's a lot of work, so I'm very impressed that someone's even attempting to do it. It's just challenging with things that go that long on a daily basis. How many, I mean, hopefully it grows and people... Illusionary Wall. 4/7 flying first strike defender. Cumulative upkeep of a blue mana. Opponent did manage to turn on Mystic Zealot thanks to that Wayfinder. Yeah, it is cool to get to see all those old cards, so... I'm hoping to continue to do it. I think it's a really neat idea. Return all creatures from the graveyard that are put there from the battlefield this turn. Well, it's a 5-power flyer. That's good. I guess we just Swamp Walk in. Yeah, I don't know. This is... I think it was from Ice Age originally. That old school art. That is... It's an illusionary wall. Good job, Wizards. There is a spell version of Momir. The Magic bracket is someone through Twitter, I believe, is running a poll that is every single Magic card voted against each other, eventually eliminated. So through the next, I think it's going to take him 2 years or so to get it done. Yeah, we always do that later. Let's just chump. Joria, yeah, that's the one that's spelly. Alright, play the swamp. See if we can dodge Phage one more time. Is it through Tumblr? I always see it on Twitter. Well, let's get in. 4-8. In Momir, everything, even though they don't look like it, they're actually tokens. And persist doesn't work with tokens. I actually want to just kill our opponent. Well, this thing had haste anyway, so that's not too scary. Opponent gets in. Yeah, the island could have been good. 6. Block. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to lose one of the flyers, but that's alright. Not really a great flyer without blue mana anyway. Maybe it's all automated. I'm not 100% sure, I guess. It's a cool idea, though. No island. So, well, we lost that thing anyway. Let's see what our 8-drop is. 8-drop's a big payoff in Momir, hopefully. Archetype of Endurance. Our opponent might have to block here, actually. If they didn't attack with, yeah, Cole again. Alright. Persist doesn't really work. No, no egotist. Please, no egotist. Well, we get another shot at it next turn. Oh, dear. That can shoot. Oh, we have hexproof. Oh, can we race this magmatic force with our wild ox has been going to town, swamp walking in. If we hit a big hasty flyer, I think we just win. Well, big and flying, not hasty, but hexproof. Yeah, it looks like the archetype is going to actually let us win this game unless our opponent hits something crazy. Thoughts on the new mythic vehicle? Yeah, Wild Ox has done so much work. I think it is worse than Smuggler's Copter in most decks, but it could be good in Planeswalker decks, and also could be like, well, that's a big flyer that keeps us from winning. Jeez. It could be good in Planeswalker decks, could also be good in, as like, I don't know, Smuggler Copter 5 and 6 maybe, since it's legendary. Like, played on top of Thopter in Vehicles decks. But I don't think that, like, red-white Vehicles would drop Copter for the new one. Well, that gives us an out. Also blows up our archetype. This has been quite the twisting game. Wild Ox is we're 1 damage short. Did we leave a damage at on the table at some point? Do I think Saheeli Rai plus Sun Titan? Are you talking about for against the odds? It looks like Saheeli is going to win the against the odds poll. Could be. That could be the way that we go with it. Also, there's the Alter the Brood combo. Sipsig Muckdraggers. Not great. Well, we blow up all the 8-drops. I guess that's what we gotta do. I guess we can do this at any time, right? So I guess we can just go on the big attack. See what our opponent does. Maybe they make a mistake. Play the land over making a 7-drop? Opponent blocks. Ooh, this is good. This is very good. Alright. Opponent goes up to 6, down to 3. So we destroy all... Oh, that's 9-drop? You're kidding me. Oh. Oh, now... Well, I guess that was a punt. I didn't realize our opponent had gotten to 9. Are you for real? Oh, and then a post-combat Molten Primordial. Well, all right. There was some puns involved there. Yes, that was some punning. For some reason, I thought that this was that we were just all 8 drops here. I didn't realize our opponent went up to the ninth mana. Yep. And I would have made the creature pre-combat because that's almost always right. It only lasts until end of turn, unfortunately. If we take it and sack it, we lose. Yeah, we lose no matter what. Now we're a mana short. We can take and sack a 9-drop, but then we lose to Magmatic Insight, which happens to be an 8-drop. We sack Magmatic Force. We die either way, I think. I mean, we can blow up our opponent's stuff, but it doesn't really... It's not going to save us. Well, they get the damage on both upkeeps, though, is the problem. They get us on their upkeep, and then they get it again on our upkeep. Alright. Yikes. Well, that was a punty way to finish off that stream. Good game, Timothy. Well, next time we play Momir, if you want to get a chance, get your name in. We have someone that's been kind of waiting, but good game, good game. Yeah, I just got the converted mana cost of those things wrong, which kind of messed it up. Missed the stream today. How long do they usually take to go up on the replay channel? They're usually up tonight or tomorrow, like within 24 hours usually, depending on exactly when it gets up, but usually within 24 hours. So let's see. Speaking of the replay channel, make sure to check it out if you are looking for old streams. And yeah, Maz, I mean, I love playing with you, but next time we'll give someone else a chance and you can work your way back up the list, because I'm tired of you beating me every time. Oh, and if you're looking for ways to support the stream and the site, check out the merch page, get some sleeves or boxes or playmats or t-shirts, all that sweet stuff. Didn't have that on board there. You could stop on untap, sack the 8 CMC to prevent the 3 damage and upkeep, then Swamp Walk in for lethal. So, low cube, once the trigger is on the stack for the 3 damage, even if we killed the creature, the 3 damage would still resolve. So we'd still be dead in that scenario. So anyway, everyone, that's it for tonight. You have a special Frontier intro video coming out tonight, a Sweet Budget Magic coming out next week. Much Ado About Nothing is Esper Arreo in Modern, which is pretty interesting. And then we have Commander Clash coming out this weekend, articles, so make sure to check out the site and keep up on that, and we will be back on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with another. So thank you all for being awesome. So many subs tonight. It was fun hanging out with you. Anyway, thank you. You're amazing, and I will talk to you soon.